All right, Serpentine Crew, look at these cards. It's pretty obvious that relationships are going to be key 3 months from now. And I have to say that a separation is really possible. Now, I'm not saying it's a forever separation. It could just be a temporary one. The idea of travel is very much highlighted through the mountain and the road. We also have the coffin and the scythe. And so I feel that what is going on here is that there is a parting of sorts. Very clear. We've got the man and woman, and the man figures in the middle, so there is a parting. What's interesting is that we have the sun on the right-hand side column here, which is the column that is associated with the furthest part of the reading, so the later parts of the story. And so it's really possible that this separation or this temporary parting is actually really beneficial. This is really interesting. So you're going to have to let me know in what way it turned out to be beneficial. We've got the tower, man, and mountain. So the tower and man can point to someone you'd known for a long time. And with the mountain on the other side of the man, it can mean that this is someone who lives abroad. It's also possible that you are reconnecting with someone you hadn't been in touch with for a while. And we're going to see that this is possible through the progression of the columns. In the scythe, man and woman, it's very clear that this has to do with a separation. But I have to say that it would have been more so if the scythe was the card in the middle. Then you really have a clear separation. With the scythe and then the man and the woman, it's possible that there is this connection that suddenly comes into the picture. I have to say this is really, really possible. In all cases, the idea of an important relationship is highlighted. And that's because the man and the woman represents important people in your life. When we see them together, the idea of an important relationship comes through. We've got the tower, fox, and scythe. This has to do with a separation. It is really clear that with the tower and fox, you'd been going through this challenging situation, or maybe a tricky one, maybe not so challenging, but maybe just annoying and really not clear. The fox in relationships is a tricky person. It is someone who is not particularly honest, not particularly transparent. It feels like they're half-hearted, they're not really invested in the relationship. And I feel that because of the tower, especially because it covers you as your first card, it's really possible that this is just draining you and it's really not sitting well with you, and it's time to make a change. So we see the scythe on the other side of the fox, and this is where you're like finished. You know, you're being decisive about what needs to happen.